Evening all. So here we go, TUL v TUL part 2. Now, this was literally the follow-on from the previous match. So we just fought the other match where I guess the ringer team had won. And this time we're actually doing the same again but different map. Now, interesting enough, we actually had planned to use a dropship to basically propel us. We're pretty much strongly subscribing to the thought that if you get to the point first, then we're going to win. Because we're not too bad at defending, but we suck at attacking. So we pretty much did a land grab for A and C here, and it worked really well. We actually got the whole team set up at C, then repelled their attack, and then we were basically just then extending into A when we needed. And again, the tactic worked really well. Now, we're using a bit of something here called zonal marking as well, which is familiar if you're familiar with soccer or football, as the civilized world calls it. I'm joking. We do zonal marking, so you basically say, right, that point there, you cover it. So as you can see, I'm stood here with a laser, and there's a bit of a time lag here because obviously I spawned as a heavy machine gun. I died a few times, and then I got into the right suit, and this is, I think, really important. You need to adapt your tactics to the map. This map is ideal for lasers. It's just built for lasers. It's perfect. It's pretty good for mass drivers as well. If you get up on those pipes and gantries, you're going to rain death. So this is where I think our tactic again started to come into effect. We had my squad sat covering C, and we had Nano's squad covering A. And we extended, like for example, we had 2 lodges, he had none, so we swapped and traded around a bit. And I saw in the comments a really good post about, you know, 2 teams of 3 and a team of 2, and that team of 2 can be like, the dude's doing on the ramp there. He's actually shooting down from there. He's moving around. He's basically scouting around, getting crossfires set up, and it worked really well. So I really like the idea of 3, 3, and a 2. I think that works really well. But as you can see, you know, we pretty much just dug in. We're using cover really well. We're using the right kind of weaponry as well. We've got Josh on the other team. He's a really good laser guy, so we're just kind of trying to keep out of his firing line. And we noticed stuff like, for example, you can fire between the 2 crates there, as you can see. That was working rather well. And I think just in general, it was, you know, we were just dug in. So I know these aren't the most enjoyable things to watch, but hopefully you're watching them maybe for sort of the tactics we're using. I mean, and again, we're not experts in this. We're as close to fledgling, mewing little kittens as you can possibly get. But hopefully you're on a voyage of discovery with us, in some cases, and you're kind of seeing maybe the tactics that work just as we are. And I think really, you know, the ability to do a land grab quick, get the points and then sit on them does seem to work for some corps. Other corps are really good at assault. So I think if there had been a coordinated push across that bridge, we would have been in trouble, because we didn't really have any kind of area denial weapons like forge guns or mass drivers. But we did have heavy suits, we did have lasers and so on, so it wouldn't have been an annihilation, let's say. But I think really, you know, again, the team were good. They were kind of flanking around, capturing things like this CIU. But again, we were able to annihilate them very quickly and get back in the fight, which makes me think that they weren't using drop pads terribly well. They were using them, but maybe they're just positioned a bit incorrectly. As you see there, Seaport has just spawned. And he must have spawned at a drop pad there. So, you know, they are using them, and I think they are absolutely critical in this kind of thing. But again, they had mass drivers, but they seldom used them. So, you know, that was probably the one thing that would have rooted us and dug us out of our keep, would have been mass drivers. But I think they were just slightly reluctant to use them all the time. And again, I think that it's just part of where it goes. Now, again, in laser crossfire here again, we see just, you know, dominating the middle range. So you know, I think with maps like this, it depends on your tactics. Assault machine guns, or rather heavy assault machine guns with Logi support, would have probably kicked our ass had they got within range. But again, it's all about getting in range, and I think we were being very good on comms. I think there was a very kind of disciplined, okay, there's a guy there, okay, pull back, okay, we've got a laser here, there's an AR retreating here, you know. It all kind of worked. And again, the fact that our 2 squads worked completely independent but yet still lent to each other was evident, because I feel the enemy in this case, even though it's our own people, were maybe working with one. So it was like, right, everyone go and capture A, everyone go and capture B, which if you can get that momentum of numbers going is exceptional. But I think you probably need, it's like anything, you need more numbers to attack than you do to defend. I think, you know, you could probably defend against 8 with 4. If you don't agree with that, post in the comments and tell me why you don't agree, because I think this is all, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong, because to me defending seems to be something that if you've got set up and if you're pretty much ready to go, them moving on you is actually not that easy. Okay, so even if they had like vehicles, you could set up proximities, remote explosives for infantry, you could do a lot. So I think, you know, to me it seems easier to defend. So I'm kind of curious to see how the conquest piece will go, because surely if you're defending an area, you would actually get maybe some time to set up. So you could maybe go around, maybe you can position the turrets, maybe you can position the CIUs, maybe even you can actually say, you know, which defenses start first. So maybe you have 10 minutes in the map before the enemy does, in which case then awesome, you could set up proximities, remote explosives, and you can really make it so that your enemy has a hard time. Now, at this point, basically the entire enemy team was rushing A. Well, not the entire, I think maybe 2 of them were held back. But I noticed only one of them was defending D or B, and he just got gunned down. So I'm going to see if I can get a sneaky hack on B. Even if I don't, think of the mechanics of this. By me simply flashing that icon up as it being taken, everybody suddenly is diverted. The attackers immediately have to go and defend, because if they lose that, they've got even more problems. So to me, it was like, I mean, okay, fruitless, I didn't even get a shot off, but that completely turned the map again, because it meant that the assault on A was completely halted, because their team had to turn around and go and defend B, and which they do. I mean, obviously they managed to keep B, but again, that was the desired result. So, you know, maybe they should have let the hack go and then maybe gone back and got it, because none of our team was actually extending over that. So I think this comes from skirmishes. Skirmishes are pretty much, right, what's the next objective? Run towards that at the fastest possible rate. Okay, we've got that objective. Okay, what's the next one? Run. And I think you need to stop. You need to think actually what is going on in this game that really desires attention. Maybe if they hack A and C right now, we don't immediately go for the to try and save A and C. Maybe we all rush and immediately then go for B and then take B, because at this point in the game, chances are that 1 point would win it. So maybe just have a think about that. Don't play these Corp battles with your skirmish hat on. That's probably the single you know, best bit of learning I've got from this, is they are utterly different to skirmishes. If you play it like a skirmish, you're just going to end up running around like a headless chicken, getting nowhere. And I think just having the thought process in your mind that, you know, it doesn't really matter what points are taken right now, it just matters what's the strategic scene of this game. As it stands for most of the map, we had 2 capture points, they had 1, so we're in the lead. We can force them to make a move. If it was the other way around, then they forced us. So I really do think that if you can get to the point where you're in charge of the map, because you're dictating them having to come at you, then you're in a good position. So our tactic worked again, and we got another victory. And again, it was just, I think, good squad play and such. But there we go. So out of the 2 battles so far, hopefully there's been some really good tactics out of that, and we'll certainly do some more of these. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.